Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this evening's end of day trading session. So, let's have a look at what's happening, and I think tonight's going to be a bit of an interesting one, actually, because there's a couple of things that have kind of developed and come up. So, let's see, what we've got going at this point in time. Okay, remember as well, if there are any questions that any of you have got in terms of any of the signals or those type of things, or you would maybe just like me to go into a little bit more explanation, in terms of what specifically we're looking at, by all means just use the chat feature, let me know, and I'll make sure that we kind of get to that point. Okay, now first things first, let's look at what has been happening now recently. Now, trade wise, we are in quite a couple of trades. We can see here as we're scrolling down, quite a lot of trades that are open at this point in time. We'll run through all of the charts so you'll see exactly which ones we are in, which ones we might be getting into, and which ones we might need to move some stops on. Okay. Um, But at this point in time, we've got the Euro US dollar open in front of us. Now, remember last week when we had a look at it, we actually had it kind of breaking into the cloud. Okay. And we said that, what most likely would be a good signal would be that downwards break and the Kumo break happening, because we'd have the Chica being clear of price. We'd have the price having broken the cloud, have the future Kumo cross as well. And the future Kumo cross has happened. Okay. But look at what has happened with price. It's actually jumped right off of a support resistance level, that top side of the cloud. Now remember what we said? If it was to break down, it would be a very good type of a sell signal. It's something I personally would have jumped into. But we had to wait for confirmation. We had to wait for the break of the cloud specifically. And what happened then? Right? We basically saw then from that point onwards that it actually started bouncing off of the cloud, and now it started moving up even higher. Now it's going to start heading into the cloud. We can see that happening now, most likely. So here is where we're most likely going to see a change in trend happening now, with price moving below the cloud, but we're going to have some consolidation happening most likely first. Okay, so that's why I said, the problem is with the upwards move, we're not really going to see any good type of entry that could pop in. Okay, so all we need to do is we just need to make sure that we keep eye on this one. And again, I'd say the most likely good entry that could come up soonest is probably going to be a short. Okay, so quick question, seeing as we're looking at going short for that one, what is the current trend of the chart? Who knows? That's it. Well done, William. Good one. That's bullish. Why? Okay. Have a look again. Price is above the cloud. Okay. And that's right, Cello. The future Kumo is bearish. Therefore, it means that we could most likely get a possible change in trend. That's why you see what happens most likely. And this is something that's going to be repeated over and over and over. You're going to notice it's these cycles that these charts tend to run in. They trend and then they consolidate and then they trend again. So that either trend, consolidate, and continue trending in the same direction, or they trend, consolidate, and start changing direction. Okay. So you always tend to get that type of a flow, being duplicated over and over. Um, and that's the big trick. It's just making sure that you spot patterns, and you can keep clear of those consolidation periods. Remember, they're good for spotting build-ups happening and so forth, and being able to take advantage, out of some movements and so forth. Okay, but now what we've got again is future Kumo, right? Kumo cloud itself. We're just running through the lines quickly again, right? Um, Blue line here is the Kujin Sen, right? Tenkan Sen is the red line. Okay, it's the faster moving line between the two. Tenkan and Kujin always runs with price. Okay, Senku span A and Senku span B forms the cloud. They always run ahead of price by 26 periods. And then 26 periods back, we've got what we call the Chiku span. This is price just shifted back by 26 periods. There we go. Line chart. Exact same thing. You can see that. Okay. Very, very good type of indication as to, what price is actually wanting to do. So love using, kind of that within this analysis. It makes it a lot simpler to be able to kind of gauge what would be a good entry or what should be a good one to maybe just wait a while on. Okay, next chart. Let's have a look at it. Here we've got the pound US dollar. Now, bullish or bearish? That's it, bearish. Okay, well done. Now, here we've got, a trade that is in a loss. Okay, uh, I wouldn't say a loss. You can't call it a loss because it hasn't been realized yet. So proper wording actually is this is a trade that is currently in a drawdown. Okay, so that's the proper wording to use. Just means that this trade with the entry that we've taken, remember, here's the entry we've taken. Stop loss is right at the top here. And there's a good reason for it. Okay, this is why. It's because of these retracements that happen. Now, what happens is price will always kind of trend and it'll retrace to breathe and regain a bit of momentum to go for the next kind of push further down. So we could probably get some downwards movement happening from here further, but we need to check exactly what the chart is showing, how it's running, and what could most likely happen. So let's look at this. I want to know from you guys now. Okay, what do you think is happening? Okay, is there any trade setups that are there? Should we take them? What would you say? Okay, seller's saying it's a Kujin break. Okay, Kujin break, definitely. That's a signal that we've got. Okay, that's a confirmed signal because look there, we had price going and closing above the Kujin Sen, and now yesterday it went and dropped below the Kujin Sen. That is a clear Kujin Sen break. Okay, so price has broken the Kujin Sen from above to below. It's a sell signal. It's happened where? Below the cloud. Okay, therefore, so far this looks like a good signal, isn't it? Where's the Tenkan and Kujin? Tenkan and Kujin are in the right order. Okay, price is retraced. Looks like it's wanting to turn. Look how flat the Kujin is there. That's basically a support and resistance level. Okay, and this is why price is bouncing off of that level there as well. What's the future Kumo doing? Future Kumo is bearish. Okay, it's going a little bit flat now. That's the only thing. It's not pointing heavily down. but that's a bit expected based on the retracement that we're having. Okay, now Chiku, what's that doing? It's sort of kind of just below price. So think about it this way: what's going to happen if it continues going up? What's going to happen if it continues going sideways? What's going to happen if it's going to continue going down? Okay. Now, here's the thing. This is still a strong enough signal for me. Everything's nicely in order. Everything's situated in a nice spot. We've still got some clear open space in front of the Chico. And it's like you said, William, it's clearing price now to the bottom. Okay. Which is a good sign for me as well. This entry is definitely something that I am going to take. Okay. So, might be a bit tight, but this is an end of day chart. Let's have a look. Okay, what do we need to do? We need to obviously go to our crosshair. Now we're going to go on top of price. And we're going to go. Remember, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Highest point. So obviously that green candle there. So we've got it like that. It's 613. Okay, let's have a quick check here. Calculator. There we go. Okay, so it's divided by 6, 1, 3. Okay, so let's go in for the sell. Putting in my volume. Entering trade. There we go. Trade's entered. Okay, now I'm just going to place the stop. So I'm just going to drag it to where it needs to go. There we go. Stop is set in place. And you can see that is quite a tight stop. This stop loss will be ratcheted the exact same way as the original entry's stop. This is what we refer to as adding to an original entry. Okay, this is how you build up a position that is trending, and this is how we make more money by running with the Ichimoku. Okay, so we're in a entry over here, and this is a quite tight stop to entry distance for an end of day chart. Anything could happen here, but we're in the entry. Do we need to ratchet the stop? Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so here's a flat section, but it hasn't finished forming yet. Okay, then 1, 2, 3. It is on the third flat section, so there's nothing that I can really do there at this point in time. So that one we're just going to kind of, leave it as is. We'll wait till that flat section finishes up with its formation, and then we can ratchet it over there. We will not ratchet this new stop loss. This will only be ratcheted once this goes past that level, and then both will be ratcheted the same way from that point onwards. Okay, so you're going to notice how different stop levels with different entries will all become the same level in the end. It's going to be multiple stop losses, but all situated on the exact same level, basically, because of the ratchet method in which we run with. Okay, so this is definitely, one of the parts that I wanted you guys to see of how we kind of just enter some of those re-entry trades, that give us another entry into an already existing position. So this trade should have already delivered up some, good, movers and so forth for you guys, especially those of you who got in at the start of the trend. Okay, should be already making quite a lot of good money for you guys. Right, so that's basically what's happening with pound US. Nice one there. Okay, let's have a look at the US franc. Now, what are we seeing here, guys? What are we seeing? Okay, William's just asking for me to open up the properties window for the Ichimoku. Okay, not a problem. I'm just going to change the share feature so that you'd be able to see the properties window. There we go. Okay, I should see. There we go. It's taken. And okay, so properties window, obviously just move your mouse cursor onto the Ichimoku till you get the open box and you can right click. Okay, and then you can go to Ichimoku properties. And I take it that's what you want to see. You want to see the setup and colors, right? Okay. Um, yours might not look like that. Okay. Um, there's two Ichimokus if I'm right. Um, it differs from one another with the way in which they list it. So I'm just going to quickly cancel this. I just want to check again if there's any other questions. Okay, no, nothing yet. Okay, so well, just let me know, was that specifically what you were looking for setting wise? I'm just going to stop the screen sharing again quickly. Okay, all good. If you want me to kind of just run through it again, I'll just do that at the end of the session quickly, especially if you don't have that one, or you're just using, obviously the other Ichimaku, because there are two. It's just that they have got different input methods for their colors. That's all. Okay, so it might seem a little bit more confusing. Okay, right, let's get back to the platform. There we go. So what's happening here, guys? We've obviously got the US franc. What's that? It's a signal, isn't it? Which one? It's a bearish chart, yes. Price is below the cloud. Tenkan Kujin Sen cross, that's right, Selo. Okay, now, power sell signal. That's it, Selo, well done. Okay, that's a buy signal. Okay, a weak buy signal for the fact that it's situated below the cloud. Therefore, it's bearish. It's in a bearish section. Okay. Future Kumo is also still bearish, and it looks like it's wanting to start going down. Right? But there's something else happening here. Okay. Have a look slightly further back. Chiku span is moving into price. Okay. And it's inside the Kumo. Exactly, William. Right. So we're probably going to see a bit more consolidation. Or we could get a clear change of direction happening here. We could have the Chiku span breaking price, in other words, being a buy signal because it's going from below price to above price then. Okay. We could maybe wait then for the Kumo break to the top for better, clearer signal. The nice thing would be that the Chiku span would be in nice, clear, open space in front of it, isn't it? Okay, so that's the awesome thing. If it continues going up, though, okay, but we'll just need to kind of keep our eye open on this and see what it's exactly going to want to do, because this could just as well continue going down. Okay, but what are we going to see if it continues going down? Chiku still continues to move into price, isn't it? So it might take a little while before it clears price at that point. Okay, but that could give us a nice entry point at that point in time. Also, this is retraced enough to actually give us another Tenkan Sen cross going downwards, setting up for the sell signal coming up with those two. So that's another entry method that could be coming up with this continuing going down. Okay, so there's a couple of things that we could look out for, which is going to need to give this more time, to know what exactly we're going to want to do, with this in particular. Okay, right now, US yen. Okay, this is a trade we took a little while ago. Um, that's running nicely in profits. Okay, bullish, bearish. That's it, William. It's bearish. Okay, that's it, seller. Okay, now we're seeing price kind of consolidating at this point in time, isn't it? And the bit of a problematic thing at this point in time is that the Chiku is moving towards price. So this could continue going sideways for a little while, but this could go up as well. Could go down also. So really at this point in time, it's still very speculative with what could happen with this one. Could we maybe ratchet the stop? Look at where the stop loss is. Okay. Is there any room for ratcheting the stop? Should we? That's it, Celo, exactly. No, we're not gonna, okay? Remember, we always keep it 3 flat sections back, okay? Right? It's 3 flat sections according to the Kujin, okay? So, we've got 1 flat section, 2 flat section, 3 flat sections. The third flat section is still way compared to where the normal stop loss entry was set. So we still need to give this a bit more time before we'll be able to ratchet that stop loss. Okay. Right. Remember, we always keep it 3 flat sections back. Right. US Canadian dollar. Okay, this one is one that we took on the Kumo break. Remember, that was a Kumo break entry that we took. And we took it mainly for the fact that the Chiku was kind of clear and open from price. And oh boy, did that decision pay off, eh? Look at how beautiful that is running actually there. Okay. Um, it's going very nicely now. Okay, let's have a check here because I think there was. Let's just have a check here. We should have. Let's do the symbols. US yen. And a US CAD. There we go. Nicely into profits, yes. Okay, beautiful little run that one's giving. Okay, you can see there. It's the sell entry that we had there on the Kuma break. Stop loss was set to most recent high or low. Question at this point in time, this trade is moving nicely into profits. You can see with the sales here that we're already in like a 2% profit with this trade on its own. Okay. Look at how clear that chiku is. I mean, this thing can still run forever almost. Let's hope it does, eh? But hopefully it does pull back so we can get a re-entry and add some strength to the profit making on this one. Question is, can we ratchet the stop? Asking the same thing again. Okay, let me just remind you guys. That's the entry. That's the stop. Well done, Bevan. Exactly. No, we will not move the stop. We have not got 3 flat sections past that stop loss level yet. Okay. So there's only one, and that's it. That's number 2, that's number 3. So we're going to need to give this a bit more time, to make some more flat sections before we can ratchet it. But look at how far we're going to ratchet that thing when we do give that first ratchet. Okay. This point in time, it's going to go into profits. Right. So good mover on this one so far. It's running beautifully, running strong with its trend. Um, I'm very happy with the way that one's moving. It's going beautifully. There's no complaints on that one. Look at how nicely, the future Kuma cloud is pointing downwards as well over here, right? Tenkan and Kujin are both pointing down nice and sharply as well. And the Chiku, like I said, it's clear and open, right? Um, we might get a bit of resistance at the level over here, okay? Because we do have a support resistance level that it's running on. Also clearly, with the level that we can see here where it bounced off originally, it's starting to break that level, which is giving me the confidence that this could run further, and we could probably see the level over here being hit. Okay? So we're just going to need to wait and see. This is a beautiful moving trade. Unfortunately, we can't ratchet the stop yet, so we need to give it a bit, more time. But yeah, it's definitely moving beautifully. Hopefully, this one could give us an extra entry at one other point. Okay? So we'll just have to keep on. Okay, next one, Euro Yen. What's happening here? Okay, this is an entry that we took a while ago. Okay, um, this was with the Chiku clearing price, and we got in bearish, obviously, right? But what's happening, right? What do we need to do? What do we need to look out for? What do we need to wait for? Could there be a re-entry? Is it a bit unknown? What could happen if it moves up? What could happen if it moves down? Just want to see what you guys might think. Future Kuma is pointing down. Okay, now, okay, so let's say we're ratchet the stop. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3. Definitely. Okay, and look how close that thing is being ratcheted now. Okay, we've already started ratcheting this for a little while. So, beautiful. Third flat level back. Bump right over there. Done. Okay. Stop loss is set in place. Nicely set up. Okay, this is looking good. Right. So, here's the thing. If this does turn and move against us, we're not going to lose 1%, are we? We're going to lose less than that. This is the beauty of the Ichimoku. That's why running with an open target and ratcheting like that minimizes the potential of losers as well. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful mechanism to run with. Now, there's nothing else that really kind of pops out in terms of giving us another entry. Taken and Kujin is quite far from one another. Prices kind of started going sideways, but there's still open space in front of the Chiku span. Okay, so this could pop down again from here. It could pop up a little bit further. We might get the Chiku moving into price. We could get a Kujin break. A lot of things can happen. We're only speculating at this point in time. There's not enough evidence on this chart to show that there's anything worthwhile to look at this point in time. We can all see that now, right? So we're not going to worry about this one at this point in time. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, what are we seeing here? Interesting. This is a trade we took, which is exactly similar to was it the US yen or the US CAD? I can't remember. One of those which we took the Kuma break on, right? Another Kuma break entry that we took over here, but this one's pulled all the way back. Okay, but look at how nicely the stop's situated, right? Above the cloud over here, and we're getting resistance at the support and resistance level right over here. Okay, based on the cloud. So prices heading into cloud, we could get this jumping up even further, but we've got the future Kumo confirmed as bearish. It is starting to narrow slightly now. We're getting the Kujin heading into the cloud. We've got the Chiku heading towards price. If this continues going down, it's going to start clearing price again, but it could head into price again. Really, kind of anything can happen at this point in time. We're just going to need to let this run and see what happens. At this point in time, this thing is so confused. It's like, a billion on a smarty box. Doesn't know what it needs to do. Okay, so ratcheting, we can't do anything. Okay, there's no flat sections to work with. We're just going to need to wait this one out. That's it. Okay, so Euro franc, not really looking that brilliant. We'll just keep an eye on it. Still developing, so that was a retracement. Hopefully, just a retracement. So let's just keep an eye and see what happens later on. Okay, so what happened over here? Let's hear it from my analysis crowd. Okay, so you're seeing the bigger picture. What I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in slightly. Should be easier to spot where you need to spot now. That's it, William. We've got a Kujin break. Okay, it's a buy signal. It's above the cloud. Okay, future Kumo is bullish. It's running sort of sideways now. And there we go. Well spotted, seller. Chiku is moving into price. Okay. So, what are we going to do here? Should we take it? Should we wait? If we wait, for what will we wait? Because this is an entry signal, isn't it? Is there another entry signal that could come up if this continues going up? Well done, guys. Well done. You're making me so proud, man. Okay, that's exactly it. We'll wait for the Chiku to clear price. So we're going to need to kind of wait and see exactly, what the type of direction is that the Chiku is going to be taking. Okay, so I'll basically just wait till I see more or less something like that happening. Okay, In other words, price needs to kind of go up quite nicely from here. Okay, that's going to give me more than enough, confidence that this could clear. If I'm still a bit adverse about it, we could just wait for that top level over there to be cleared, and then we run in. Okay, but that should be all right as well. Again, it's a personal opinion on that point in time. But guys, well spotted. That's exactly it. I'd rather wait for price to be cleared. Okay, we're just gonna need to give this more time because this could just go sideways for a little while, and then it could go down, or it could go sideways for a little while and then continue going up. Okay, which means we could get the clearing happening here as well. So just keep an eye out for when and where it clears. Okay, and that should be it. But really well spotted, gents. Well spotted. Okay. So that was the big pound mover. Okay. And this is the first re-entry that this one is giving. The first. Okay. Those of you got it on the Kuma break, well done. Your stops should be situated over here, I think. Let's count them. It's one, it's two, it's three. Yeah. So yeah, over here basically. Okay, so you're still in this trade and there's a re-entry coming up, and this one is already in some huge profits. Okay, so good move for that one. Right, let's have a look at the next chart then. Pound franc. Okay, this one is an entry we took a little while ago based on Tenkan Kujinsen cross that happened over there. Okay. Oh no, was that one over there from, right? Yeah. Okay, so stop loss. Can we move it? That's it exactly. Okay. That's not a completed flat section. One, two, three. It's already three back. So I need to wait for that to finish forming. We're starting to get the turn happening there. It's looking like it's wanting to bounce off of that level. Okay. But we're just going to have to wait and see. Chico could move into price or it could continue going down. We really don't know. Again, we're just going to have to wait and see what this one is gonna deliver finally. Okay. Right. Next chart. Now what are we seeing here? This is one we got into a little while ago. Nothing really up, is there? No extra entries. It seems like could be coming up or still moving bearish, which is good. Chico could be heading into price, could continue going down. Don't know yet. Still need to give it time. It's still going down, but it's looking like it's flattening out at the bottom here. Gujin is pointing down. Tenkan is up. But it's expected due to the retracement. We're always going to have the retracements. Okay. But other than that, there's nothing really happening. Okay. Can't move the stop. So with this one, just going to have to wait and check what happens. Okay. Next chart. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Now what is this one delivering? Okay. This one is one we got into. Okay, well, I got into this one a little while ago, and it was on the confirmation of the clear of the level we had. Okay, so when the level basically got cleared and the Chica started moving away from price, okay, that's what I was waiting for. Remember, same as what we looked at just earlier, right, on the pound franc. Here we got the Kuma break, We had the future Kubo cross as well. I wasn't happy with where the Chica was and where it was heading to. So I just wanted to wait a little bit more to see whether it's just going to clear that. And it did. And that's what got me in. So we're in this one at this point in time. Stop has been set. It can't be ratcheted. Okay. So some of you might be in this one as well. Okay. Um, but that's one that I was definitely just waiting for the Chica span to clear. Okay. And that's what got me into this trade in particular. Right now. So far, all the signals are bullish. Everything's pointing up, bullish here. Price above cloud. Kujin's pointing up nice and strongly. Chiku is above price, above the cloud, clear from price as well. So it's looking good for the upwards move. Look at the Australian New Zealand dollar. Another beautiful little mover. Okay, this is very similar to the previous one. Okay, got in on this one with the Chiku clearing price. So we had the Kubo break. I wasn't happy with where the Chiku was. I wanted that level to be broken. Level was broken. Okay, that got us in with the Chiku clearing price then. Okay, so stop loss you can see is set quite a while or a way back, but it's because we had to go 7 candles back. Okay. Love the way that the future Kubo is pointing upwards. Love our prices running on a steep angle over there as well. Let's look. Are we going to ratchet the stop at this point? That's it. Well done, seller. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That's it. Flat section right over there. Okay. That's done. So with this one, we're just going to have to give it time as well. This could, still run for quite a little while. Don't know until, we give it time. So nothing else from that one at this point in time. Okay, next one is the Aussie dollar, US dollar. Okay, now look there. Got into this one. Okay. Didn't go for the clear break over there. Okay. I just wanted to wait for one more level being broken because of how long this was going sideways. And it was basically that level over there. Got the level broken, got the entry, nice clear open space, pointing up nicely, strongly. Okay. So this just needs to run and do its thing. Okay. Let's just move this to give a better idea of exactly the level I was waiting for. That was basically the level I was waiting for to be broken. Okay. You can see that there's huge support and resistance happening off that level. Boom. Boom. Okay. And check our price consolidates at that point. So I was just wondering, if I would have gotten in early on the break earlier there, right? Um, then basically, what would have happened in terms of it basically bouncing off of that level over there. Okay. A lot of you could have gotten in on the break over there as well. Okay. So a lot of you should probably be in at that point. All good. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Nothing whatsoever. It's perfect entry signal and so forth. Okay. Now, Chico's moving beautifully in clear open space. Looks like a good mover in that sense. Okay. Can't ratchet the stop on this. This is still too close. Okay. Um, no flat sections whatsoever. So with that one, we're going to need to give it, quite a bit of time. So all in all, this one looks like it's, started going on a lot more bullish direction from the consolidation it used to be in. Okay. Looked like it would be going to quite a nice bearish type of level, but it bounced off of the level over here. So you can see, check here, I want to show you guys quickly. Okay. See the top level that was drawn here? Okay, and how it's offering that resistance. We can draw it like that as well. Yes, that's perfect. Look at that triangle forming. Breaking to the down. Coming back up. Look how it hits the tops of the or the bottoms of the triangle over here. Boom, boom, and then breaks right through to the top. Interesting, huh? Very interesting. Okay. Um, but yeah, these are things you guys will start spotting, yourselves and that kind of thing. Once you start seeing how we identify them and how we look for them and that kind of thing. It's kind of just looking at the wave formats that it forms, and that's why the ticker span actually helps quite a lot with that as well. Just purely because it throws it into a line chart format. Makes it a bit easier to kind of spot and see. Okay. Right, next one. Here we've got the franc yen. Okay, franc yen. What are we looking at? Bearish. Got into this one a little while ago. Okay. It's been moving sideways, and we're seeing this with most of the other charts. Okay. What I'm liking though is the future Kuma still pointing down. Still bearish in color as well. Still space in front of the Chiku. Tenkan and Gujin is pointing down. It's all still looking good. Yeah. I haven't got any complaints on that one. Can we ratchet the stop? Yes or no? Okay, we won't be able to move the stop on this one. Okay, have a look here. 1, 2, 3. That is not a flat section, that is pointing down slightly. Okay, just at a different gradient. So it doesn't qualify as a flat level. Okay, so that's what most of you probably saw with that one. But we've still got it just higher. Once we get the next flat level going, then definitely we're going to start moving this to the level over there. That already shaves off like what, 0.4%, or well, not 0.4, it's 40% off of 1% loss, which means we're actually only risking 0.6% from that point onwards. And we can gain a lot more. So we just need to give this more time. Again, looks to be moving good. All the good signals are there. I'm happy with what I'm seeing on that one in particular. So I've still got a lot of faith in this chart moving in a good direction. Okay, right now we're basically done with our analysis at this point in time. Remember the last times I brought on the US dollar rand and the Brent crude. Um, I think it'll be interesting just to have a quick check at what's happening with them. Okay. Ichimoku wise, end of day wise. Okay. Let's see if we can learn to know a bit more of what our own economists know. Okay. Always interesting to, kind of compare what's happening locally and that kind of thing to, what we're seeing on the charts. And it's a good way to learn how news and those type of things affect movement of price. So remember we said that we're most likely seeing the rand recovering technically against the dollar because it's moving into kind of a bearish territory now. It is running off a huge level now. You can see how it's hitting a support level here. Okay, and then we've got another support level right over here. So we could get some resistance over here, and it could start going back up from here. Okay, but this is sensitive to news, so it could be interesting to see. If anything else could be happening. Okay, future Kumo cross, yes, definitely. We're getting moving down. It's we could get further consolidation happening. We'll only know in another two candles probably. To see exactly what this is going to do. So you know, in a day or two, we'd have a clearer understanding of where this might be heading to from a technical perspective. Okay, from a news perspective, might be a different story. But that's the whole thing. That's why I don't bother about news. I purely trade technicals. Look at how convincing technicals are. Okay, look at how much money that is to be made with trading the Ichimoku. Okay, now let's have a look at Brent crude and see what that's done. Okay, starting to move. It's getting comfortable at that price now. Okay, around 40.83. It's broken the cloud. It goes clear from price. Clear, clear, clear. Future Kumo's crossed. It's bullish. Okay, it's pointing up. Tenkan and Kujin is pointing up. Kujin is inside the cloud though. Chiku is kind of in the cloud though as well. Everything else still looks kind of good on this. So this could be, a bit of a strong mover going up. Could go sideways for a little while. Okay. And yes, it's anybody's bet or guess from that point onwards. Okay, so something else to just keep an eye on and see what could be happening. Right. Okay. So interest rate charts, always kind of just fun to check and see what's happening with some of these overall type of big movers in the world economies and that kind of thing. I want to find out from you guys at this point in time. We've got a couple of minutes still left for the session. Is there any questions that any of you might have at this point in time? While we've been going through the Ichimoku at this point in time, we've been checking a couple of things. Any particular questions, that you want to ask or check? Okay, so Bevan's asking if we're using the Ichi on the 4-hour chart, would there be any difference in the way that we'll be using it? No, the exact same way. The only thing you need to remember about a 4-hour chart, though, the only added um, nuisance, well, it's not really a nuisance, it's needed, but you're going to miss two candles always, because remember, you're going to be asleep for two candles. Okay, so you won't be able to make decisions on those type of entries and so forth. But that's the beautiful thing about the Ichimoku. Um, if we miss a single, there tends to be another entry coming up right after that does actually get us into the move and that kind of thing. So um, works beautifully on 4-hour charts. And for those of you wanting to go a little bit more aggressively with the Ichimoku, by all means, start running it on 4-hour charts. And have a go at it and kind of see how you kind of adjust to it. It is going to be a little faster with your analysis. It's going to happen a little bit quicker, but you guys should have a good understanding at this point in time now already about the Ichimoku. Okay, enough to kind of help you guys to now start focusing on the shorter time frames like the 4-hour. I wouldn't recommend going up to the 1 hour. It's going to be difficult to maintain. Okay. Um, and really, yeah. I, I mean, I have had success with it on the 1 hour, but it does become tricky. You've got to be a lot more picky with your trades. And also, um, you're going to use it in a slightly different way as well, because we are trading shorter time frames, that kind of thing. But yeah, basically, Bevan, to just, kind of round it off, yeah, by all means, you just use it the exact same way, okay, for 4 hour. There's no changes, that kind of thing. It only starts changing, with certain conditions and so forth once you go to the much smaller time frames. And there are guys who actually use this to trade intraday, you know, um, but they use quite specific settings, for the Ichimoku when running it on the smaller time frames. Yeah. Um, we've got the standard longer term settings set to it, so that's why we only use it for that. Okay. Um, there are kind of other forums that you could go check out and that kind of thing if you want to have a bit of a deeper analysis into it. But getting to the point of trying to trade that at such quick time intervals for you guys is going to be very, very difficult at this point in time. So don't really bother about trying to push it towards that. 4 hours should be more than enough for you guys. Okay. Right. Any other questions? Okay. Profiles. All good. I've got quite a couple of profiles. Love running with them. This is a profile that I've got here. This is my, there we go, end of day itchy profile. Okay, so your profile will basically be displayed right at the bottom of the screen over here. When you click on it over there, this is where you start choosing your different profiles. Now, most of you will be set on the default profile. I've just ticked it onto that. It'll change over to that. Uh, a profile is a saving of a grouping of charts. So if you're going to have different types of trading accounts, you're going to target different types of currencies with different strats. You're going to pair them up in a particular way. So you might be using one strategy with 5 different charts. So you might group that as that strategy's profile. Okay. Remember, template is a set of indicators, lines, and those type of things, and setups and background colors that get saved and it gets transferred onto any charts. Okay. But a profile saves a grouping of charts and all work done on those charts as well. Okay. If you're going to build a profile, always start building the profile from out the default profile. I'm only going to warn you now, okay? I learned this the hard way, and I wasted so much time, Um, but that's how we all learn, eh? Um, when I built a profile and I saved it, I'd call it maybe my intraday profile, but then I want to build an end of day profile as well. So I quickly start adding a couple of new charts and changing things, and then I save it as my end of day profile. But the problem was, is I did that while I was still on my intraday profile. And what did it do? It overrided the intraday profile. So I had to rebuild my intraday profile. So trying to rebuild it, guess what I did? Yes, I removed the charts, still on the same profile. I just saved it as the normal one again, only clicking it after that. It happens. But like I said, that's how we learn. Always build it from out the default profile, and then you save it to whatever profile you want, whether it's your end of day profile, intraday profile, price action profile, whatever you want to call it. It's really up to you. To build the profile, you can either go to the bottom here, and you go to save as profile. That's it. It's the same way as saving a template. Okay, and it'll list in your profile section. You can also go and find the profile at the file section at the top here, right there, profiles, and there's save as. Okay, so you see that I've got basically a test profile there. I've got an end of day profile. I've got the end of day itchy profile. Okay, on this platform. Okay, so those are the different types of profiles I'm running with. So you can just switch between the profiles as you want. and it saves all the work you've done, on this profile. So now I want to get back to my end of day. So all I do is end of day Ichi, click, all charts back. Okay, and that's it. Right. Um, does that cover it for you, William? It's basically just saving a grouping of charts, and it's your choice of how you want to group them and how you want to. It's like a, think of it as a folder, for different files, basically. Okay, great stuff. Okay, last chance. Any other questions? Okay, looks all good then. Okay, now it looks to be perfect. Okay, now that's awesome then, guys. I hope your trades are running nicely as well. We did have a couple of retracements. Um, it's inevitable. It's always going to happen. Okay, um, and some trades are moving beautifully into profit. Okay, but overall we are in profit. Okay, I don't know how much you guys are in profit by. You should be in profit. If not, you definitely just made a couple of mistakes. That could be just simple, you know, um, miscalculation of your risk, or it could be, timing of the entry, getting in at the wrong points, entering the wrong signal, hitting the buy instead of the sell. There's a lot of things that can influence it. But when you do things correctly and so forth, you should be in a profit at this point in time. Okay. I think we did have one loser that went against us. Let's just check our account history and see what has happened. Yes, we only had one trade go against us so far. Okay, according to the Ichimoku. So, yeah, nothing really that we could do on that one. So let's see there. Yeah, that's the intraday trade, that one. So yeah, that's the end of day one. Yeah, only had one loser so far, and it was basically just less than a 1% loss. Okay. So, and that's why we ratchet, it makes a huge difference. Okay. But all in all, guys, thanks for popping in. It was great to have all of you on here as always. Okay. And then I'll see you guys again next week. Okay. For our end of day live trading session. Okay. Keep your eyes open for the chance. Have a look at what could be happening. There's still a couple of more entries that could be coming up. Okay. Until next week, then, guys. Enjoy your evenings.